Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Inkin YouTube channel. I'm Amanda Fowler, and in today's video we are going to be working on a sketch. Now, in the new annual catalogue on page 22, down here at the bottom, you will find some sketches. And I know that some people have been happily working with sketches for years, and other people have never come across them before. So what I thought I would do was pick a sketch and make a card and just talk to you about how you actually sort of translate the little image to a full-blown card. I've got some brand new products to share with you as well. So we'll get the camera turned around and start crafting. So you'll find the card sketches on page 22. I've actually photocopied it and zoomed in, and I am actually going to be working on this sketch here. So it's actually a portrait card blank. It's got 3 strips and a central image. So that's what we're going to be working on, as well as it being shown here on page 22. I do want to show you page 61. And I'm going to bring this up, and hopefully this will help. So on some of the pages, you will see the little sketches. So this is page 61, and the little sketch image there is the same image as the one I just showed you. And this card here is made using that image. Now, I'm not sure how well this camera is going to pick it up, but there's actually 3 panels that are embossed, and then this beautiful center panel. So if you've got a copy of the catalogue, check that out and you'll be able to see that there. But now we are going to look at these new products. This is called Unbounded Beauty. And for those of you that do craft along with me, where I send out a kit of products each month, this will be the products in the June craft along. So all orders in May can qualify for a free craft along, and you'll see all of the information over on my blog. Let me just put that up to show you. It's www.inspiringinkin.com. If you click on classes and events, you'll be able to see it there. I can only send kits out to people who live in the UK, but if you live elsewhere in the world, you can join with the online version. So let's look at this suite. It is wonderful. Let me just clear that banner first. And actually, I'm going to... There, that's better. Okay, so this is a mega suite. So it starts on page 52, and you've got lots and lots of samples. And what makes it a mega suite is the fact that it has 2 stamp sets and 2 sets of dies, so 2 bundles. It has papers, glimmer paper, and resin dots. So let me show you close up of these products. I actually don't have the Flowers of Beauty and the dies, or even the stamp set, but I do have these dies. And let me just grab them. Oh, they're buried underneath my pile of paper. They're here, look. Now, the new catalogue shows you the images really beautifully. We've got some really clear imagery now with the dies, but this is what they look like close up, and this is going to be such a useful set. These labels are all quite small, so they're going to be perfect for sentiments on cards. And then you've got some fancy ones with some leaves and some additional leaves and some flowers as well. So obviously it's designed to coordinate with the rest of the products, but I just wanted the dies because you can never have too many dies for sentiments, and you can never have too many leaves either. So that's those. So let's look at these products now. I'll move the catalogue out of the way. So we'll start with the resin dots. Now these are really lovely. They're all of the colours of the new in colours. So you've got Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Petunia Pop, and Summer Splash. And they're made of resin, and they're sort of a matte colour, and they're also flat. You can just see there that they are a little bit raised, but not like a rhinestone or a pearl. So less likely to end up being a large letter post or getting damaged in the post. So they're really cool. Then glimmer paper. I love glitter, and this is awesome. So this is all of the in colours. So we're starting with Peach Pie. That's Petunia Pop. Pretty in Pink. Shy Shamrock. And Summer Splash, which is obviously my favourite because it's blue. It's a non-shedding glitter. Look. It's just not coming off. So it's a really good for card making. It's not going to shed everywhere. It's white on the back. It's quite thick. So when you're cutting it and punching it, it's quite sturdy. But that's really beautiful. And then there are the papers. Now, if the gems and the glimmer paper haven't given this away already, the main colours of this paper are all the new in colours. So it's if you are wanting to kind of work with the new colours, then this paper is amazing. So I'll show you each sheet. They are sort of colour washed. So you've got tonal colours. This one's got spots and then like a painting there. You've got hashing and spots as well there. Oh. And some peach pie flowers. We've got stripes. And then more florals. I think this is my favourite sheet. It's all leaves. And again, tonal with the colours. And then you've got beautiful flowers on the reverse. Another paint wash there. And that's Petunia Pop in tone, most of that. And then you've got some smaller flowers there. And the side that I'm actually going to be using today. So it's the same as the green. Same as the Shy Shamrock with the leaves. But I'm actually using this side, which is the Pretty in Pink. So really, really pretty papers. And versatile as well, because they're not too busy in their printing pattern, I suppose. So I've got my piece of patterned paper. I have got some card blanks. So this is a thick basic white card blank. Now my card blank size is, if you're just looking at the front of it, it's 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether you're using inches or centimeters, because the plan of using a sketch, let me move that sticky out of the way. The plan of using the sketch is to approximate those images. So the measurements aren't critical. Okay. So we've got our card base. I'm going to put 3 panels of patterned paper down and then have a central image. So I've got some Pretty in Pink card. I've got my favourite stamp set, which you've probably seen before if you've watched any of my videos in the last little while. I'm going to be using this lovely floral image, but I'm actually going to be trimming it down because I need it to be a bit smaller. And I've got the thanks sentiment. I've got some blends, Memento black ink, and I think that's everything. Okay, so let's start out by figuring out how we're going to work with this sketch. So I know I need 3 strips to go on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my patterned paper so it's the right height. So because this is 5 3/4, I'm going to cut this at 5 1/2. So it's just going to be 1/4 of an inch smaller. And then, oh, I've got scraps of, you can't see that actually. I've got, I've got all kinds of scraps of paper from previous videos. Let me move that out of the way. So that's 5 1/2. Now, I know this is 4 inches and I want 3 strips. So if I cut the strips at 1 inch, then the 3 strips would give me like 1 inch gap. And I think that will probably work. If you look at the image there, you've got quite a lot of space around the edges. So I'm going to try that. If I don't like it, I can always cut bigger strips, but we'll see. And sketches are absolutely designed to fuel your creativity, not to hinder it. Okay, so let's see. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking at this and I'm happy. I'm happy with the placement centrally, but they're too tall. So if I look at this, there's an even gap, top and bottom and right and left. So at the moment, I've got quite a big gap here, but not a very big gap top and bottom. So I'm going to trim off 1/4 of an inch and see, but I think I will probably need 1/2 an inch. Oh, no, 1/2 an inch. So let's just cut that off. And what I suggest you do is once you've made one of these sketches and you're really happy with kind of how the layout looks, then just write all your measurements down. And then next time you come to make this sketch, you'll know what the measurements are straight away. So there we go. So we've now got a more even gap, top and bottom and left and right. There we go. So really happy with that. So now we need to work on this panel here. So I know that I'm going to stamp my flower and I'm going to matte and layer it. And it's got to be wider than 1 inch because it covers the center panel and part way through the other two panels, but it's also smaller than this. So I pre-cut this as a guess. We'll see. Ta-da! Yeah, that works. So this piece is, let's have a look. It is 2 inches by 4. But when so let me just position these down. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these down so they're in the right position. And then we'll work from there. So I'm going to stick the center one down first. And then stick these two either side. And then I'm just going to look at that again, that pretty and pink piece. I think there's a possibility that I need to go a bit wider, but we'll look and figure it out together. Okay, so there are my 3 panels. And if I put this down and compare it to this one, this panel here seems wider than this. Does that make sense? And it needs to cover over these bits a little bit more. So I'm going to I'm going to leave it the same height, but cut it wider. So it was 2 by 4. So I'm going to go, let's try 2.5. And then we might go to 2.25. And this is the fun bit of trying to figure out what looks right. So, okay, I think that's right. Hooray! So it's covering over like half of the 2 outside pieces, which that is. So I think that's going to work. So I need a white layer that is 1/4 inch smaller. So that's 2.5 by 4. So this piece is going to be 2.25 by 3 3/4. So that is just going to sit there as a layer. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is use the Spotlight on Nature stamp. And I know that this is not going to fit on that layer because it's way too big. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stamp this part and cut it out. So let me get my ink pad. I'm going to colour it in first. I'm going to put some grid paper underneath. Whenever you're working with blends, always protect the surface that you're working on, because it will go through, it will bleed through. So I've got Pretty in Pink blends, and I think it's Granny Apple Green, actually. I will check when I get to the green. I'm just putting down one layer first. This is the light. And then I'm going to go in and shade and then blend. So this tends to be the way that I use blends. I tend to put a layer of colour down. Ooh, I did that the wrong way round. Never mind. I use the dark first. It's fine. I'll just shade with the light now. But what I tend to do when I'm when I'm fully paying attention, it's because I've gone into relaxed mode because I was colouring in, is I put the lighter colour down first and then go in with the darker colour to shade and then blend with the lighter colour. So I go light, dark, light. So this is absolutely Granny Apple Green, as I thought it was. And since I was paying attention this time, I started with the light. I'm just going to go in now with a bit of shading. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to need to blend this anyway. There we go. So now I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so I've speeded that up so you didn't have to see me cutting in real time. I've cut off the extra stalk and we've got this second one that I can use for the inside. So what I'm actually going to do is lay this on top and kind of see how much of this I need to trim off. Now I actually want to put the thanks stamp down here at the bottom. So I think what I'll do is I'll stamp that in first. And then I can position the flower in the right place. So I think I'm going to trim off this stem just a little bit. No, that leaf's going to have to go as well. So that will actually stick down there. So I'm going to use dimensionals. And obviously I've got the big ones and the little ones. Just means that if you use the little ones as well, you don't have to cut your dimensionals down all the time. So I'll just trim that off. I'm just sticking down before I want it to stick down. I just want to make sure that the top of the flower is actually sort of within that white border. And we're going to stick it to that pretty and pink layer. And again, more dimensionals. You can never have too many dimensionals. More dimensionals to pop it up so that It just makes more of a feature of the patterned paper by raising this up. So let's do that. And then just pop this down. On the inside, just as a little bit of embellishment there. So there you have it. So this is, ooh. I'm trying to clear everything out of the way, but it's a lost cause, really. It's a crafter's table. It's covered in stuff. That's fine. So you've got this lovely image. Now, this was basically a little sketch. So I've used patterned paper. The one in the catalogue has used dry embossed paper. You could use different coloured panels. You could heat emboss them. You could put vellum or glimmer paper. That would look super cool. And just try it out. But using sketches is such a great way to boost your creativity, particularly on those days when we think, oh, I really don't know what to make today. Give a sketch a go. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. All of the products can be purchased from my online store. If you pop over to my blog, let me just get the address up for you. It is www.inspiringinkin.com. There you'll find clickable links and a link to my online store. And whilst you're there, do subscribe to my newsletter so you're always the first to hear when I've got some more creative inspiration for you. And if you're watching this here on YouTube, please subscribe here on YouTube as well. Click the notification bell and you will always be the first to know when I've got a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Goodbye.